My name is Rob, and today I will be talking about uh, wetlands which are under threat. Let me see. I don't think I have the stream, but I am live. Okay. Um, I'm just going to set. At least I'm live on YouTube. Um, so I'm just going to transition. I don't know why my chat was disappeared. So I'll have to open up my YouTube on my phone in case someone is chatting. So recently in the news, there was a wetland that is um, lost significant status, and I'm going to read some of the headlines about wetlands that have a code. Wetland in West Ottawa lost status after wetland cleared October 29th, 2024. Ottawa wetlands cut from provincially significant list October 22nd, 2024. Several officials frustrated with disheartening construction on provincially significant wetland May 2nd, 2024. Victory on the shores of Lake Scugog, Port Perry residents block MZO protecting sensitive wetlands September 17th, 2024. Environmental defense. So there was at least one victory. Ontario Superior Court upholds injunction to protect wetlands October 11th, 2023 in the Law Times, and then there are several more stories about wetlands. And then I'm going to see if I am, before I transition, I'm going to see if I'm also on Twitch. Might not be on back to Twitch. Oh, it doesn't show me on Twitch. Okay, just on YouTube. So I'll focus on YouTube and work out the technical difficulties after. um, so let's see, where am I? So the first article I'll look at is Wetland in West Ottawa lost status after land was cleared. And this is a property on David Manchester Road. It's 55 hectares, and it is now, it was a provincially significant wetland, it lost provincially significant status. Provincial. It's there was a David Manchester Road just north of Toy Store and Tractor Retail. There was um, a cutting in 2021, but that wasn't what led to the wetland losing provincial significant status. It was an update to the environmental wetland evaluator system. And wetlands used to be able to be complexed. Now they have to stand on their own, which is problematic because a lot of wetlands they don't exist in isolation. This area is a swamp and marsh located southwest of the junction of Highway 7 and 417 in Ottawa. And it was part of the Goulburn Wetland Complex. Maybe I can see if I can find the wetland evaluation. Oh, no, I don't want that. Maybe I can see if I can. Let's see. I'm hoping I can copy and paste that. Okay, I can copy and paste. So this is Control C, Control V. Wetland evaluation. So I don't know if I can quickly find it. But there was news in the Rideau Valley Conservation Authority about this wetland. And let me see. And this news was from I don't see where this news is from. But it was previously identified in 2008. So this wetland has been a provincially significant wetland for several years. Ontario. Yeah, so I'll read that. I'll see if I can find the wetland evaluation. It is on private property, so it might be a challenge to get the actual wetland. But the city of Ottawa has 76-page report, so it could be like, and that was in January 2023. I mentioned that the legislation changed. The property was about 75% wetland in 2016. But basically, oh, and yeah, the wetland was rescored under the new system, and the entire wetland lost its provincially significant status. And the owner of the property was fined $1,125 in July of 2024 and agreed to a remediation plan with the Conservation Authority and is not allowed to interfere with vegetation in a regrowth zone. But now it's not provincially significant anymore. So does that ruling still hold? I'm not sure. But the changes demonstrate that people can just damage wetlands and get away with it, essentially. The changes eliminated a lot of references to endangered species as well. And this is the first example of wetland to lose its provincially significant designation in the Mississippi River watershed. And then I think this is the site that they're referring to, and I found, and they had a map. So we'll go to, so that's 2018, 2008, 2017, 19, and then 22. There was a clear deforestation at the site. I don't think it goes past 2022. But the deforestation occurred in 2021. So there's satellite evidence that the site was impacted negatively. And this might have reduced the evaluation of the wetland, because if wetlands can be evaluated at any time, degradation of that wetland could impact the evaluation, especially if it is a small area that's being evaluated to begin with. This was an article, Worries for Wetlands as Ontario Aims to Build Homes Quickly, by Kate Portal on October 28th, 2022. This is related to the Build Homes Faster Act. The quote from the article, change in approach. It's a change in approach to large ecological systems that span municipal boundaries and the pulled down rule for conservation authorities that have drawn criticisms from organizations such as Environmental Defense. was a quote, "It's going to potentially unleash one of the biggest reductions in biodiversity and losses of habitat that we've seen in decades." Phil Foughton of Environmental Defense and is a land use planning and environmental lawyer. People rely, and then he said people rely on them to make sure open sprawl doesn't destroy how ecosystems function. Angela Coleman of Conservation Ontario is concerned, or was concerned, that the changes happened. And then flooding, and said that flooding doesn't stop at city limits. And then this article says sections about documenting rare species are struck through, while the document has new sections about remapping existing wetland units in quotation marks. Instead of looking at an interdependent wetland complex. Worst kind, and then this is the worst kind of sprawl developers are going to score on it, said Foughton of Environmental Defense. And that was a quote. And another quote, "It's going to drive up land prices, but it's not going to create more housing because we've already got the land we need." And that's another key consideration. This isn't going to, none of the wetland destructions creates housing. It reduces housing, in fact. And then that's all I highlighted. Oh, and the author is Katie Portal of both articles. I'm going to look at, and I'm going to see 17 minutes. Okay. This is in Reddit. Ottawa wetlands cut from provincially significant list. I'm just going to look through the comments. I'm asking, does anyone have the wetland evaluation? Someone said the wetlands acts like the government acts like it's 1965. Nothing learned since then has any effect on their decision making. I agree with that in terms of wetlands, natural heritage. And then people were talking about the low voter turnout. And then people were talking about cynicism and why voting matters. Let's see. I haven't read through these in advance. Okay, and someone wrote, homeowners wrote in 2022 that, or home builders, that wetlands were getting labeled significant when they didn't have much value, but conservationists said even outlying patches of wetland matter and are interconnected. The science, and then said that the science is clear that we need wetlands. They are not optional. Many small wetlands are not protected, but are important across the landscape. And then the commenter said that we can't even save what's in our own backyards and have the resources and funds to do so. Yeah, and I agree with this commenter. The science is clear that we need to protect wetlands, and protection of wetlands is not optional. Um, and then no more prone to flooding. Um, oh yeah, someone mentioned that like in terms of agricultural, um, yeah, the wetlands. There's a lot of damage to wetlands in terms of agricultural. Um, mm, oh, I'm just going to head to the washroom. I'll I'll be back. I'm just looking at the um, Reddit comments. Okay, I am back. Let's see. I'm just going to see where it was. Okay. Um. Yeah, people saying that people going Centralon says a decade from now, a lot of homeowners who don't do the research are going to regret buying a home on wetlands or floodplains. Um, I agree. There is evidence around that. And this isn't the first wetland that has been um, uh, delisted or not listed as environmentally significant. So I'll have to find let's see. I'll find some other articles about wetlands. While I'm looking, for the articles, like I hold that in I listened to a City of Kingston planning meeting, and one of the developers suggested filling in a wetland because it's not protected. I think it was like a small wetland. Um, there was evidence that small wetlands are important as well. Um, oh, here it is in the Willia. Okay. This is another article. Several officials frustrated with disheartening construction on provincially significant wetland by Greg McGrath Goody, May 2nd, 2024. There was a fine of $4,169 from the township and a stop work order from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry. And then it says Justin Hinson approached the Savon Township Council requesting the township reverse an invoice for gates and installed blocking an access point to his property, which was promptly shot down by council after learning of the work he carried out without any permits. And then there's a quote. It really bothers me when people go ahead and do things and think it's easier to say I'm sorry than to follow the rules, said Deputy Mayor Judith Cox at the council meeting. And then the property is located at 13,205 County Road 16. And there's a trail and it extends into the Match Dash Bay provincially significant wetland. The township officials said that the construction of the road violated a restrictive license of the occupation permit as a floating structure and multiple vehicles were found within the second portion of Henderson's property. So, and that's the case potentially where wetlands could be losing um, provincial significance because of that damage, potentially. Oh, there's another one. Plan to expand Stittsville Quarry would remove wetlands, and this is posted November 1st, 2024. Uh, and this is in Ottawa. An Ottawa quarry owner has filed applications to effectively triple the operation's footprint, and the plan involves removing two wetlands that would be recreated years later when the digging is done. And recreated wetlands are not as good as the original wetlands. There's a lot of work that goes into wetlands. Um, so that is problematic. Um, oh, and who wrote the article? Oh, Kate Portal. Kate Portal. Wrote this article. It's in a truck. And then one is 10.7 hectares, and the other is 4.6 hectares. Let's see. Oh, this is near the Golderborn Wetland Complex, which was talked about in the other article. So I think it's the same wetland. Um, it's one of 8 licensed sites belonging to several companies that hug Highway 7 in the city's rural west. Um, and then 2 wetlands on the expansion site, one 10.7 and the other 4.6, have lost designations in the last 2 years, and they are no longer provincially significant wetlands, even though they would likely be provincially significant because they would probably be complexed, so grouped together. Um, oh, public consultations have closed. Um, the wetland was reevaluated in 2023. So it's important to look at city councils whenever you can, um, to keep them. Yeah, it's important to look at city councils. Yeah, so that's an article that I'll probably read again. Um, yeah, so several wetlands are being destroyed or under threat. Oh, no, article. Yeah, several wetlands are under threat because of changes in legislation. and this has impacts on floods, soil erosion, biodiversity. Biodiversity is important uh, to protect from um, diseases as well. Um, and it's definitely scary times for wetlands and for people as well. Like people enjoy nature, uh, um, recreation is at risk. Um, anyways, I hope that you look at wetlands in your municipality and across the province and defend wetlands as much as possible. Th- Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.